Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to part 2 of my ginormous book haul. Once again, don't forget to hit subscribe below and hit the notification button to be alerted when I post more videos. And also as a little excerpt, because I forgot to mention it in the first video, if you uh, if you have any other horror books or books with vampires that you don't see listed in any of my videos, in any of these two videos, don't be afraid to comment down below your recommendations. I like to see what you guys are reading. And what I'd like to do is, based on your recommendations, I might randomly pick maybe 3 or 4 of them to read, and I'll make a live book vlog where I read them live with you guys, and I give my review or my opinion on what I think about them, how I felt about them when I read them, and just have fun with it. So, the first book is Fireproof. Now, this was also made into a movie. It's a Christian story about a man who's a captain of the fire department, and he's married to a woman named Catherine. And basically, something along the years, he starts to change. He and his wife, they start to argue constantly. He gets kind of rude with her. Sorry if it's moving. My dog is laying down right by my feet and she keeps tugging at the camera. Um, Basically making her feel like she's not good enough to the point where she threatens divorce. And when she threatens divorce, he goes to see his parents because he thinks he's, right and she's wrong. He doesn't see his own fault. And when he goes to see his parents, his father hands him a book called The Love Dare. And it's 40 pages long. And what it is each uh, event in the book, it's like a book of 40 steps. And each step he has to do in real life. And it goes from, talking nicely to your wife, remembering to tell her that you love her and for her to have a great day, cleaning up the house without her knowing as a surprise, making her breakfast. Basically, little things to show her that you still care and love her, to help him fix not only himself, but also his marriage. And in doing so, he becomes closer to God. And God helps him every step of the way. So I've seen the movie, I just haven't read the book, so I was so excited when I saw this. So this is one that I'll be definitely reading. Another book is called Lockdown, and it's about a prison called Furnace Penitentiary, and it's about a boy that gets sent to this prison, and this prison is pretty much, it's 10 times worse than Alcatraz. Um, they're very strict, they get abused, anything that can possibly go wrong in a jail happens here, but like 10 times worse. And this boy is trying to escape from this prison because he's falsely accused of a crime, and that he was sent to this jail for it. So he's trying to break out so he can prove his innocence. So I figured, why not? Sorry, I gotta reach the books. They're way over here. Now, these next two are part of the series, and that's Sanctum and Catacomb. The first book of this series is called Asylum, and then after Catacomb, there's 2 other books, the Asylum Novellas and Escape from Asylum. Sorry. I highly recommend this series if you like haunted asylum stories. I highly recommend it. And it's about a group of friends that go to this college, and they all stay in this dorm, and they're told in the beginning of the school year that not to go to the basement of this particular dorm building, but they're not told why. It's just forbidden. They find out that the school, before it was school, it was originally an insane asylum, and that some of the patients that died there, their spirits still are trapped there because of the doctor who died, and his spirit is evil, and he's holding their captive. So it's a really good suspenseful story that I highly recommend you guys definitely get into. This next one, it's a box collection of World War Z, and it comes with 2 books. The actual World War Z book, which is based on the movie that came out, and the Survival Guide to Zombies, Surviving Zombies. And right in the inside here in the slit, if you can see that, it also comes with a poster. So this is a good collection set. If you don't really care about the Survival Guide, but you're interested in the World War Z book, they do sell the World War Z book separate. You don't have to get this box set. I just like the way the box looked, so that's why I got it. This other book is from Roald Dahl. Now, again, forgive me if I mispronounce names, but this one is called Skin and Other Stories. And it's basically a bunch of short horror stories. It also has humor, but it also has surprising, suspenseful, twisted endings. One story is about a woman who actually kills her husband with a frozen-legged lamb. And then she feeds it to the police officer that's investigating the crime. There's another story of a particular art dealer that's trying to separate this man from a valuable artwork. Only thing is, the artwork is a tattoo on the man's back. So, again, if you like short stories that are horror stories, I would definitely pick this one up. Don't remember if I showed this in the first book. Wow, sorry. In the first video. If I did, I apologize. I'll go ahead and show it again. But these 3, you can see, they're all part of the, what was it called? House of Night novels. These are the first 3 out of, I believe there's like 12. If you like the books, the Night World books, and Vampire Academy's books, you'll like these. This is also vampire stories, very similar to those. This would be another great pickup if you like vampire stories. There's that. There's this one. It's called Deep and Dark and Dangerous. It's about a girl named Allie who's 13. And she finds this old photograph and has a picture of 3 people, her mom, her aunt. But the third person's face was torn out. So she doesn't know who it is, but it's killing her. And she's dying to find out who the person is. She ends up coming across another girl named Sissy, who's basically very deviant and is trying all possible ways to destroy Allie's summer. But Allie finds out that Sissy has a secret that could tie into who that third person was in the picture. And Allie goes basically to all ends of the earth to try to figure out what this secret is. So, again, something that seems to be going down my alley. So, yep, I got that. Sorry if I keep bobbing the headset. The next book is one I was mentioning before, Vampire Academy. And this one is a total of 6 books in the series. This is the first one. From what I've gathered so far, from what I've read so far, it's about these 2 girls. One is like a vampire princess, and the other one is basically her protector. And they had escaped from this academy, and they end up getting caught and sent back to the academy. And basically, it's like a true friendship story. They have a weird connection where they can connect with each other, where the protector can communicate through mind with the vampire princess, and she can see what the vampire princess sees when they're like miles apart. So if you like vampires, this would be another good pickup, and that's Vampire Academies. This next book is by James Patterson, another great author, and it's called Witch and Wizard. Now, this is also a series of, I think it's 4 or 5 books, and basically, it's about a brother and sister that's a witch and a wizard, and they're basically trying to destroy this all-powerful man, kind of like Voldemort in Harry Potter. It's basically taken over the whole world, made it post-apocalyptic, strict rules. You can't play music, you can't sing, you can't draw, you're not allowed to color. Crazy things that you've never heard of, you're not allowed to do. And all these kids and teenagers are being taken to these camps that it's run by this guy. And they're basically brainwashed to be brainless, non-fun zombies. And so these two brothers and sisters, they sneak in to these camps to try to free all these children before they become mindless idiots, pretty much. And I liked it a lot. It was a nice, interesting story. It kept you, into it every single page. It deals with magic and mystery. So if you like not so much of the horror aspect, but maybe like a little suspense, a little humor, then I think you would definitely like the Witch and Wizard series. This next book here is a very, very big book by Stephanie Meyer. It was also a movie, and it's called The Host. This is the same author who wrote the Twilight series, I believe. So if you like that, you'll definitely like this. And can't really say much about it without basically spoiling the whole story. But all I will say is it is a very good story. I highly recommend you reading it. I would recommend you read the book first and then go and see the movie, because the movies, they tend to not put a whole lot of certain things within the book. So that's why I highly recommend you read the book first and then the movies. Daisy, stop. Okay. This next book I came across only because it seemed kind of interesting, and I'm hoping that I'll like it. But it's called The Haunting of the Presidents, a paranormal history of the U.S. presidency. Basically, it's actual true paranormal stories of what happens in the White House. So that's interesting. See what's going on in the White House behind closed doors. This book here, it's a very thick book, and I have to put in verse, is another Japanese manga. This one was written by Junji Ito, I think that's how you pronounce it, and it's called Uzumaki, and basically it is a big anthology of short, psychological, creepy as all horror stories. I was trying to think of a word that YouTube would allow. But they're insanely scary, psychological, I was trying to think of the other book that this author wrote, but I can't remember it for the life of me. But this is very good. One manga that's similar to this would be I want to pronounce it as Fuon no Tain. That's a Japanese novel, basically in the same concept of this one. Well, I highly recommend this if you're really into like hardcore horror. This is one to grab. It was actually listed under the top 30 horror, extreme horror mangas, and this was like number 3, on the list, I think. Another book. Now, if you watched my first video, and I was talking about a book called Enter the Darkness by Laurie Faria-Stellars, and I mentioned that I had another book of hers that I was going to show in this video, that the sequel to it will be coming out this Tuesday, and that is Jane Anonymous. Basically, it's about a teenage girl that gets kidnapped and held captive for a long period of time, and while she's being held captive, she befriends this boy. And when she finally escapes and she gets freed, she mentions the boy's still there, and she's trying to get him to go back to the boy. Only problem is, the boy's no longer there. Nobody believes her that there was a boy there. They think she just made it up from being held captive. And it's basically her, it kind of goes back and forth of her when she was captive and to the present time of her, how she's trying to lead a normal life, being traumatized of her being kidnapped and held captive. So that's good. I would definitely recommend this or any of Laurie Stellar's books. She's a great writer. I just love her book, her styles of writing. They're amazing. This book here is Stephen King's Dr. Sleep, which is the sequel to The Shining. I still haven't seen the movie yet. I'm dying to see the movie. I do plan on seeing the movie. But, until then, I'll go ahead and read the book first. It's always good to compare and contrast. Basically, if you haven't seen the movie The Shining or read the book The Shining, it was a book that Stephen King wrote, and he was inspired to do it when he stood at the Stanley Hotel, which is considered one of the most haunted hotels in the world. Now, the thing about the movie compared to the book is when they made the movie, Stephen King did not like it at all because... I'm so sorry. She keeps knocking it. But Stephen King did not like the movie because it had, from what I've heard, it had nothing to do with his book. It did not really correlate with the book. The events that are happening in the movie were not accurate from his actual experiences that he had there in the Stanley Hotel, and therefore he was very upset about it because he wanted the movie to be as accurate as he was in his own book. But nevertheless, the movie ended up being really good. A lot of people enjoyed it. I can understand why Stephen King was upset about it, and I definitely agree in that sense. But I still really enjoyed the movie, and I know I'm really going to enjoy his book and the next movie. Oh, now these two books here, I don't own these books. I am borrowing them from my best friend Hazel. Shout out to Hazel. And that is Crave and Crush. Now, again, I didn't read the summary, but from what my friend Hazel told me, it's basically another book about vampires, but also has romance in it. Now, this is a fairly new book series. There is a third one that just came out recently. So, when I get a chance to read these two, if I find that I enjoy these, I'll definitely go back for that third book. Now, these last four, I want to do it as a chunk because I got these books because I was going through YouTube videos of other YouTubers who were giving their own book reviews, their own book recommendations, and out of those videos, I came across a YouTuber. Her name is Gabby Reads, and she did a book vlog where she picked out 4 books that was recommended to her by her fans to read. Now, currently, I only have 3 of those books. The fourth one, I do have it on order, and it's supposed to be coming soon. It has not come in yet, so as soon as it comes in, I'll be able to grab it. And that one is called Brother. So I really can't wait to read that one. It is about a family that basically kills together. From what she said when she read it, it was very gory, but she enjoyed it a lot. So I figured it's something that I would enjoy. The other book that she had is called Kill Creek. And basically what it follows 4 horror authors that they all stay in this house for one night. The only thing is, it's a haunted house. So I figured I'd really enjoy it because I've read Project 17 by Laurie Stellars, and that was about a group of 4 teenagers that go into this abandoned asylum that ends up being haunted. But the way she writes that book is every chapter is speaking from each of the teens in the group. So it's like you're seeing from every other person's perspective as you're there. So I figured this might be something similar to that. And I do like haunted house stories. So I got that one. Another one is called The Ruins by Scott Smith. And basically a group of friends who are in what's called the Mexican jungle. They get trapped in there, and they stumble across something really, really creepy. And it's basically 2 young couples. I'll read the synopsis. 2 young couples are on a lazy Mexican vacation, sun-drenched days, wild nights, making friends with fellow tourists. When the brother of one of those friends disappears, they decide to venture into the jungle to look for him. What started out as a fun trip slowly spirals into a nightmare when they stumble on the site of some ancient ruins and the terrifying presence that lurks there. So, I can't wait to read it. It's I have like brain farts. I mean, if you really, really, really like horror, I definitely recommend all these books that I'm showing. So again, I do plan as I read these books at a little at a time. I'll do book vlogs where I basically review them after I've read them and give you more of what my opinion is on the books. But I really can't wait to read this book here. This next one is by Joe Hill, and it's called Heart-Shaped Box. And it's basically a ghost story. And one fact that I found out that you guys probably know, but I didn't know, the author Joe Hill happens to be the son of Stephen King. And it's funny now, here's a picture of Joe Hill on the back of the book. He looks exactly like his father. So that's pretty neat. Like, I'll show you. So here's Joe Hill. And then here's his dad. Split image. So yeah, if you like ghost stories, I highly recommend this one. If I can get this book to stop moving on here. Basically, on the back, it says, aging death metal rock legend Judas Coin is a collector of the macabre, a cookbook for cannibals, a used hangman's noose, a snuff film, but nothing he possesses is as unique or dreadful as his latest purchase off the internet, a one-of-a-kind curiosity that arrives at his door in a black heart-shaped box, a musty dead man's suit still inhabited by the spirit of its late owner. And now everywhere Judas Coin goes, the old man is there, watching and waiting, dangling a razor blade on a chain from his bony hand. So if you like stories like that, definitely recommend it. The author Joe Hill, What I also found out, kind of give you more insight on his books. He's a very, very good author, just like his father. So he's just as popular as his father. When I got this book, I was told by the lady there that his books, whenever they come into the store, they sell out pretty fast because they're that good of a book. And this very last book was shown in good. Daisy, move your paw. Hold on, guys. I apologize. Was in another YouTuber's video. I'm trying to remember the name of the. I know her name is okay. So her name is Rain, and her YouTube channel is Books and Brews. And she was recommended from a video that Gabby Reeds did. She gave her a little shout out, and this was one of the books that she was showing. It's called The Haunting of Ashburn House, and it's about a young girl that basically inherits a haunted house. And of course, with the haunted house comes creepy and strange events. Again, something that I really enjoy, so I really can't wait to read all these books. And that was the last one. So once again, if you know of some really good horror books, your vampire books that you didn't see me show in this video or the video before this one, please, and I'll say it again, please, don't be afraid to comment below and leave me all of your suggestions of really good horror books or vampire books, or any books that you feel that are similar to what I've shown that you think that I would enjoy, that you've enjoyed, and you want to let me know. And yeah, and we'll even have fun with that. And I definitely have more videos planned with these book vlogs, live reading book vlogs, book reviews, book recommendations, you name it. I know I stated in the first video, I do got 2 other books coming, hopefully Tuesday. They'll both come in on Tuesday. I know one does, so I'm hoping the other one does. And I'll be able to do a little mini review of those 2 books. But without further ado, thank you guys for coming to my channel and watching my videos. And once again, subscribe, hit the notification bell below. Yeah, pretty much just comment below. If any of the books that you see I have here that you really enjoyed and you wanted to know where I got them, you can also comment below, and I'll let you know exactly where I got this book, like this specific store. But yeah, bye guys.